here and continuing the journey at this table. So this session focuses on resource consumption in whatever forms it is, whether it is water, whether it is raw materials or energy, electricity, that happens in the pharma sector, right? In this session, we aim to explore the current state of resource consumption, right? Considering that Telangana is the major pharma hub and the state has many pharma and chemical units that generate a lot of income for the state, create a lot of economy, but also are responsible for some effluents and other hazardous waste which needs to be handled appropriately, right? So there's a responsibility as well on the industry now. Our goal in this session is to pinpoint specific areas within the resource consumption side where there's a need for innovation, where there's a need for solution or a gap that exists, and where the industries are willing to work with startups, with MSMEs and innovators to co-develop solutions going forward. As I had indicated earlier, as a part of the program, this is the first step we are in, but going forward, the problem statements that are identified on this desk will have to be kind of prioritized and then taken up for solution development by startups and innovators. So that's going to happen further as a part of the program, and therefore there's a need, once the solution is ready, at least the MSMEs have to come forward to pilot it, test it in their facilities, and certify that yes, there is impact due to these solutions, right? So the intent from my side is to identify these areas, detail them out sufficiently, and then take your help in prioritizing them. Going forward, I'll just have, it's not a moderated session, it's a free-flowing discussion. That's how I would like to keep it. But then there has to be some constraints and boundaries for our discussion. So we are looking mostly at green technologies, and anything related to greening decarbonization is the focus. Okay. So the question here for all the MSMEs here, and anyone can really speak up, is we have talked about some challenges around ZLD systems for small industries, small MSMEs. But then we also understand that there's a need to significantly reduce the water intake, water consumption. It's a cost, and definitely the more water and other resources we consume, possibly there's also going to be the other side, that more effluents we are releasing. I'm not too privy and too technical to understand your operations, but I would like to maybe kick off this open discussion saying, okay, where are we struggling as MSMEs in ZLD? Why is it a challenge? Is it because solutions don't exist? Is it because your scale of operation is too small for investing in a ZLD? Or is it because just ZLDs don't work for you at all? Then they're totally irrelevant, and the kind of waste streams that come out of pharma have to go to a effluent treatment plant. So what are the challenges in ZLD? If some of you can maybe take a stab, try to respond, that'll be good, and we can kickstart the discussion. So again, to repeat, what are the challenges that you're facing in ZLD and reducing water consumption? There's no language barrier, everyone can speak.
సార్ మెయిన్ వచ్చేసి మాది వచ్చేసి యాంటీసెప్టిక్ డిస్ఇన్ఫెక్టెంట్ ఫ్యాక్టరీ సార్. మేరీ మా ప్రోడక్ట్లో వచ్చేసి 90% వాటరే ఉంటుంది సార్. సో మేము వాటర్లో మేము క్లోరైడ్స్ టెస్ట్, తర్వాత వచ్చేసేసి పిహెచ్ మెయింటైన్. Hi sir, good afternoon. My name is Chandramouli. I am coming from Bhuvanagiri. My company name is Multicure Pharma Private Limited. My owner is Shashi Sharma. He is in Bangalore, sir. Out of so small work, he is not came, sir. So my company is products are antiseptic disinfectant liquids, sir, like hydrogen peroxide, podinidine, Dettol, Savlon. This type of products manufacturing, sir.
Managing Director of Stanmax Laboratories Private Limited. We are into veterinary formulations manufacturing segment. Stanmax Laboratories Private Limited.
Yeah, my name is Murthy. I am with my brothers. We are from Stanmax Laboratories.
Yeah, my name is Mahesh. I'm working as a project engineer in Accelerating Chemicals, and my managing director is Shri here.
My name is Pradeep Chandra Andi. I am coming from Lifespan Private Limited. Lifespan Andi. Private Limited, situated at Karkabatla, Biotech Block 3 Andi. And GM. Yes, sir. Yes. Madi nutraceutical manufacturing Andi. Sir. Nutraceuticals. Yes.
So I'm R.K. Agarwal into bulk API manufacturing and Nakoda Chemicals.
I am Dr. Dilip. I am from Hetero.
Yeah, my name is Santosh Kumar. I am from Sri Krishna Pharmaceuticals.
My name is Sayyid Ali Siddiq and my company name is KPR Herbal Products. I do manufacture herbal products.
My name is Muhammad Fazul Rahman Khan. My name is manufacturer and KPR Herbal Products manager.
My name is Rashekar, Sri Raj Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the introductions and thanks for reminding for that. Sir, you were మీరు చెప్తూ ఉండాలి in terms of water consumption అది చెప్పండి
సార్ మా ప్రోడక్ట్స్లో 90% వాటర్ యూసేజే ఉంటుంది సార్. మెయిన్ మాకేంటంటే వేస్ట్ వాటర్ ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ ఒకటి, వేస్ట్ వాటర్ ట్రీట్మెంట్, తర్వాత వాటర్ అనాలిసిస్లో, కెమికల్ అనాలిసిస్, మైక్రోబయాలజీ అనాలిసిస్లో మాకు కొంచెం సజెషన్స్ కావాలి సార్.
అయితే మీరు అనేది మీకు వాటర్ రిడక్షన్, సో మీ ప్రోడక్ట్లోనే వాటర్ ఎఫ్లూయెంట్గా ఏమి వాటర్
ఉంటుంది సార్, ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ కూడా, వేస్ట్ వాటర్ కూడా ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే, సో దాన్ని ఎలా హ్యాండిల్ చేయడం, ఆర్ ఈజ్ దట్ ఎ ఛాలెంజ్, మీకు ఏమైనా ఛాలెంజ్గా ఉందా లేదా?
ఇప్పుడైతే ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ ఉంది సార్, ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ ఈటీపీ సిస్టమ్ ఉంది, బట్ అది ఇంకా కొంచెం బెటర్గా చేద్దామని మా సార్ వాళ్ళు ఇక్కడికి పంపించారు. దాంట్లో ఏమైనా సజెషన్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే తీసుకున్నాం.
సో ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ ట్రీట్మెంట్, వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ challenges are you facing? Ante is it that there are some hazardous waste, or it is COD, BOD, or TDS? Ante
raw materials also included, sir, waste water mein.
Okay.
Raw materials like podinidine, chlorhexidine gluconate.
Okay. And in this, what ఇప్పుడు మీరు కరెంట్ సొల్యూషన్లో ఏంటి ప్రాబ్లం? ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉందా లేదా దిస్ నో ప్రాబ్లం, ఇట్స్ వర్కింగ్, బట్
you know to better ATP system we need.
Okay, can you try to give more detail in sense, is it consuming more energy or is it not able to filter out some, if there is a problem?
Yes sir.
Right, what is the problem annadi?
Can you just come in? In formulations, I mean, the pharma industry, we should see in two different ways.
Okay.
In the bulk drugs, the production of effluent will be more. But whereas in formulations, the effluent production will be very less or near negligible. Only the effluent which we send for the treatment is only when we clean the vessels, when we clean the manufacturing tanks. That only is the effluent for us.
So
Whereas when we go to the bulk drugs, there will be, I mean, many solvents are used and effluent generation will be there. But when we manufacture in formulation, the entire manufactured quantity will be packed and it will send as a product. And when we clean those vessels or containers, whatever is generated, that goes, only that part goes into effluent treatment. So the effluent generation as such in formulations,
No effluent generation.
no effluent generation, whereas when we go for cleaning, that wastage only will go into effluent treatment.
And that will be a small quantity.
Small portion only.
Okay. So for that you don't need to set up an ETP? Or
We need
do
to.
you
We need
still
to. We need to. But if government can help us, or suggest us to collect it and send it to some common facility,
Okay. Okay.
the sludges at least.
Okay. So మీరు అన్నది మీది భువనగిరి ఏరియా నేనా?
ఇప్పుడు మేమంటే currently idea uppalani. I am also going to Bonagiri area.
Okay. So there you have challenge with effluent treatment అంటే అక్కడ లేవా facilities?
Facilities, common facilities.
Okay. So one thing is no common facilities in the Bhuvangiri area. ఏ ఐడియా అండి?
1480. Idea.
Okay. So just to understand now, if there is a large company somewhere nearby, and I'm just trying to brainstorm, sir, nothing. Large company with an effluent treatment, can't you work on some kind of a contract or some support?
Yeah, that's what we should.
That's what you're doing currently.
No, that's what we should plan.
That's what. Okay.
Therefore, government should facilitate.
Facilitate that.
Is looking at.
Okay. And now, in sorry, yeah, I'm being instructed to use a mic so that they can capture it. Okay, so now we have understood that in at least formulations, there's most of the facilities depend on, or it would be efficient to use a common effluent treatment plant because there's no large generation of effluents, and specifically in areas like Bhongir, there may not be any effluent treatment plant, which makes it all the more difficult. Now, but what about the water consumption? Do you use a lot of water? As I said, they're using a lot of water.
Liquid formulation, water will be the base, major 90% of the products.
Okay.
Until unless if any molecule is hydrophobic,
Okay.
the basic this will be in water only.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, that's not a typical hazard or challenge.
Yeah. Only treatment should be done for the water, then used in the formulation.
Okay. Okay. Fine. And have you tried any other say now I was having a conversation the other day with Bakka Reddy from Jidmetla Effluent Treatment Plant, and he said that they do have an RO plant which generates water and they can sell it at a very reasonable cost compared to maybe municipal water or say for smaller industries to set up such things. Have you considered, or so as an input, do you also need something like RO water? Is that a common facility? And not just discharge, but also input water, since you're saying you need a lot of water, right? Is that also a common facility typically, or is it something that each industry gets for itself?
Right now, each industry has its own
Okay.
RO and demineralization.
And that's more efficient way? Okay.
Because there are no common facilities set up as of
It's
now.
not question of efficiency.
Okay.
The common facility is not
Not
existing.
available.
Okay.
Scale of operation plays a big role in cost cutting.
Sir.
Cost optimization
Okay.
can be achieved only through scale of operation.
Okay.
Now, whether it is making DM plant or it is effluent treatment or it is making RO water, it is applicable to any unit operation. Any unit operation, unit process can be done at a scale of operation that will bring economies of scale. You call it economy of scale.
Okay, fine. So at the moment they are not feasible for smaller industries because of the scale.
It's not feasible. Nobody has given an attention to this optimization process. See, the question is coming up now when we are talking of optimization.
Yes, yes.
Now, government has not given any attention to this cause कि भाई ये हमको करना चाहिए. As I told you, their stipulation has been counterproductive. They have given a guidelines that each and every unit should have its own ZLD plant. Now, this decision itself is completely counterproductive.
Okay.
It doesn't help anybody.
Okay.
Even the cause of environment, it doesn't help.
Okay. Okay.
And makes everybody incur additional cost, additional things. Now, because it's coming from a government body, I have to comply to it. But as a technical, if you put it to technical scrutiny, this guideline doesn't stand the scrutiny.
Okay. 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 Understood. Point well taken.
On the second area where you have largest water consumption, in my opinion, not consumption, but water consumption is the evaporation through the cooling towers.
Okay.
Now, conventionally, the cooling towers which are available in India has very about 1%, 1 to 2%, 1 to 1.5% evaporation, because they are working on adiabatic principle.
Okay.
So there is a cooling is achieved through the evaporation of water.
Okay.
So 50% of the consumption in any unit is going through the evaporation through the cooling tower.
Okay.
It is not my consumption, but it is my consumption.
Okay.
Cost.
Okay.
Cost, not cost, but it is a consumption. It is a consumption of a resource. So what I request you, this is one area for you to look at. If you can come out with more efficient cooling tower, which can reduce the drift losses to bare minimum. I mean, this is one area where you can work on.
Okay. Okay.
See, even with the ZLD plant, now today my main water consumption is to supplement for the evaporation losses.
Oh, okay.
Rest of the water I am able to, through the ZLD plant I am able to recover back.
Okay.
80% of the remaining water comes back to me, I am able to reuse.
Okay.
But what happens to the evaporation through the cooling tower?
Okay.
It is a loss which I have to make up.
Okay. Understood. And typically that is 1 to 2% of water.
All the cooling towers which are available, there is a loss here.
Okay.
So you can talk to the manufacturers, talk to the service provider, what they can avoid, what they can do to reduce the drift losses without sacrificing the efficiencies.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That input is also taken. And just to get a little more insight, sir, when you say cooling, what is the gradient you are achieving in the cooling towers?
About 6 degrees.
6 degrees.
6 degrees.
Okay.
In any cooling tower, normally 6 to 8 degrees is the gradient of cooling.
From ambient, 6 degrees you are reducing. And
not ambient, you are not reducing from ambient. You are reducing from plus to ambient.
Okay. 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 Okay.
You know what temperature, when it goes to the process, it is at ambient. When it comes back, it is picking up heat from the process.
Okay.
So it is ambient plus 6 degrees.
Okay.
Adiabatic.
Okay. 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 That's it. Okay. And understood. Okay. And this is, and since I'm completely naive, so the process though, yeah. So the process though is happening at a significantly higher temperature, maybe at 80, 90 degrees.
Process may be happening
at a higher temperature, but the cooling system is going to be somewhere in the ambient, say 30 degrees, 35 degrees, somewhere in that range. Okay, plus 6 degrees.
because water is circulated in large quantity.
Right.
So that heat, what is picking up from process is dissipated over large quantity of water.
Okay.
And the delta T is only 5 to 6 degrees.
Okay.
6 to 7.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And this happens in. Is this what you would call a typical waste heat recovery system? I don't think so. This is completely different, right? Waste heat recovery is further when the waste is going out.
No, waste heat recovery is something different where some heat is going. This is a heat which is going out of the process unutilized. And now you build a system to utilize that heat. It's a waste recovery.
Okay.
Like, for example, we have in a waste treatment, we have equipment like ATFT, which is drying and bringing out the solids from the waste. So from the liquid waste, you convert into a solid. So from the last stage, you get a lot of evaporation after, because once solid is coming out and the heat comes out, that heat is invariably waste. It's unutilized. So what we have done in JETL, that we have put a heat recovery plant. So whatever RO reject is coming, we are evaporating out of this heat. So that's a heat recovery plant.
Okay, understood. So it is not enough. Yeah, understood.
Any heat which is wasting, and if you can put a unit which can utilize this heat, is a waste recovery unit.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. In terms of I think the other one is how are the industries faring and how are the industries working around chemical contamination, right, from your processes? Are there any challenges? Maybe there could be some industry specific challenges that, okay, we're able to handle a lot of other chemicals, but this particular chemical is giving us nightmare. It's causing us a lot of operational challenges. Or it leaks out very easily. It's not detected very easily, something like that. So if there are any such challenges from the industries, again, this is supposed to be a collective discussion, so I would hand over the mics at will, and I would put you on the spot so that you can think and come back with any problem statements that you have in your industry, right? So I'll go right this time. మీ ఇండస్ట్రీలో మీకు ఏమైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ టెక్నాలజీ పనిచేయకపోవడం కానీ, లేకపోతే కాస్ట్ రిడక్షన్కి స్కోప్ ఉంది కానీ ఇక్కడ అవ్వట్లేదు, మాకు కరెంట్ సొల్యూషన్స్ లేవు, లైక్ వాట్ దే సెడ్ కామన్ ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ ట్రీట్మెంట్ సేమ్. ఓకే. యా.
మా స్మాల్ స్కేల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఫార్ములేషన్ కంపెనీస్ యాక్చువల్గా మాకు ఈ ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ ఏముండదు. మాకు వచ్చేసి కావాల్సింది మెయిన్ మిషనరీ. యాక్చువల్గా సఫిషియెంట్ మిషనరీ ఉంటే మేము ఓన్లీ రీప్యాకింగ్ టైప్ ఉన్నట్టు అంతే. ఇంకా జస్ట్ సఫిషియెంట్ మిషనరీ కావాలి మాకు. అప్డేటెడ్ మిషనరీ ఉంటే మేము ప్రొడక్షన్ కాస్ట్ తగ్గుతుంది మాకు. మేము ఎంప్లాయీస్కి కొంచెం ఎక్కువ మందిని ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఇవ్వగలుగుతాం, గ్రోత్ ఉంటుంది కంపెనీ.
మీది కూడా ఫార్ములేషన్ కంపెనీ?
ఓన్లీ ఫార్ములేషన్.
మీరు మెషినరీ అంటున్నారు, కొంచెం
అప్డేటెడ్ మెషినరీ
అంటే ఏంటి మెషినరీలో? ఇప్పుడు మీ కలీగ్స్ ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు, వేరే వాళ్ళు.
మాకు ప్రొడక్షన్లో ఏముంటుంది, ఓన్లీ ఫిల్లింగ్, సీలింగ్, లేబులింగ్, ప్యాకింగ్, ఈ 4 types ఆఫ్ లైన్స్ మాకు అవసరం పడుతుంది. ఫిల్లింగ్, క్యాప్ సీలింగ్, లేబులింగ్ అండ్ ఫైనల్ ప్యాకింగ్, కాటన్ బాక్స్ ప్యాకింగ్.
ఓకే. అయితే వీటికి ఇండియాలో ఎక్కువ లేవా లేదా?
ఉన్నవి కానీ మాకు కొంచెం గవర్నమెంట్ నుండి ఏమన్నా సబ్సిడీ అలాంటివి వస్తే మేము అంత ఖర్చు పెట్టి తీసుకోలేకపోతున్నాము అప్డేటెడ్ మెషినరీ.
ఓకే.
గవర్నమెంట్ నుండి కొంచెం సపోర్ట్ కావాలి.
ఓకే. 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 సో వాటి సర్వీస్ కానీ అవన్నీ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఏం కాదు. మీకు ఫైనాన్షియల్‌గా మీకు ఆ మెషినరీ కొనుక్కోవాలంటే
కొనుక్కునే కెపబిలిటీ కావాలండి.
ఓకే. ఓకే. అంటే ఇది
మరి ఇంకొక ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది. డ్రగ్ రూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి మాకు. షెడ్యూల్ ఎం అని కొత్తగా అప్డేటెడ్ వర్షన్ వచ్చింది ఇప్పుడు. దానికి ప్రకారం మాకు ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్కి ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. వేరే కొన్ని సమ్ క్రోర్స్లలో పెట్టాల్సి వస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు అప్డేట్ కావాలంటే. అదొక ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది మాకు.
కొంచెం ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ క్లారిఫై షెడ్యూల్ ఏంటి? అంటే ఈజ్ ఇట్ రిలేటెడ్ టు గ్రీనింగ్ ఆర్ ఈజ్ ఇట్ లేదంటే
గ్రీనింగ్ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ సంబంధించింది కాదు. డ్రగ్ షెడ్యూల్ ఎం కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అని యాజ్ పర్ రూల్ ప్రకారం కొన్ని స్టెప్స్ వైజ్గా అంటే కావాల్సిన అవన్నీ సమకూర్చుకునే విధంగా కొన్ని ఇంకా వేరే ఏహెచ్ సిస్టమ్ ఉంటుంది, ఎయిర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ సిస్టమ్ ఉంటుంది. అవన్నీ పెట్టుకోవాలంటే కొంచెం ఇబ్బందిగా ఉంది.
ఓకే. సో షెడ్యూల్ ఎం కంప్లైంట్ అవ్వాలి అంటే అది
ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ పెట్టుబడులు కూడా కొంచెం ఎక్కువ కావాల్సి వస్తుంది.
మరి అది మీరు సప్లై చేసే వాళ్ళు అడగట్లేదా? ఇది గవర్నమెంట్ ఇస్తుందా లేదా మీరు ఎవరికో సప్లై చేస్తూ ఉంటారు, వాళ్ళకి అవసరం లేదు?
గవర్నమెంట్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే చెయ్యండి అని చెప్తుంది కానీ ప్రోత్సాహం లేదు. ఇప్పుడు అది చెయ్యాలంటే పెట్టుబడులు కావాలి. పెట్టుబడులు కావాలంటే గవర్నమెంట్ నుండి ఏదన్నా వాళ్ళు ఇస్తే కనుక చేయలేము. చేయకపోతే కంప్లైంట్స్ వస్తాయి. అది ప్రాబ్లం.
ఓకే.
ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మాకు పొల్యూషన్ కూడా అంత అవసరం ఉండదు. పీసీబీ నుండి కూడా చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తాయి. యాక్చువల్గా పీసీబీ కింద ఉండకూడదు మా ఫార్మేషన్ యూనిట్లు.
ఓకే. అండ్ కంప్లైంట్స్
పీసీబీ నుండి తప్పించాలి.
పీసీబీకి వెళ్ళి మాకు కంప్లైంట్స్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు స్మాల్ స్కేల్కు వాళ్ళు సిఎఫ్ఓ తీసుకోమంటున్నారు.
ఓకే.
మాకు అంత టర్న్ ఓవర్ కూడా లేదు.
సిఎఫ్ఓ అంటే
అది కన్సెంట్ ఫర్ ఆర్డర్స్.
ఓకే.
ఇది ఓన్లీ రీప్యాకింగ్ ఫార్ములేషన్సే మనం చేసేది.
ఓకే.
దానికి వీళ్ళు చాలా హరాస్మెంట్ ఉన్నాయి పొల్యూషన్కి వెళ్ళి.
ఓకే. ఓకే. సో అది మీరనేది అది అవసరం లేదు.
మా దాంట్లో అది ఏం రాదు సార్. హర్జాడస్ కూడా ఏం రాదు మాకు.
ఓకే.
ఏంది మేము ఫైన్ కెమికల్సే వాడుతున్నాం. ఇది స్పెషాలిటీ ఇది మన బల్క్ డ్రగ్స్.
ఓకే. ఓకే. అండర్స్టూడ్.
ఓన్లీ బాటిల్ వేస్టేజ్ అవన్నీ కూడా వీళ్ళు చేస్తారు కదా సార్, బయట ఉన్నాయి కదా ఇప్పుడు.
ఓకే. ఓకే. అండర్స్టూడ్. ఓకే. సో మీరు ఎక్కువగా ఓన్లీ రీప్యాకింగ్, మీరు వేస్ట్ ఏమి ఉండదు, అది నింపుకోవడం, అది సీల్ చేయడం, లేబుల్ వేయడం. ఓకే. ఓకే. అచ్చా. సో సచ్ యూనిట్స్ వాటికి ఈజీ
పీసీబీకి ఏం లేదు ఉండాలి. వీళ్ళు ఏమి
కంప్లైంట్స్ అంటూ ఉండాలి కానీ ఏదో వేరే కేటగిరీ
చేంజ్ చేయాలి మాకు. ఇట్ ఈస్ బల్క్ డ్రగ్ స్టైల్ అనే ఉన్నది మాది.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
రెడ్ జోన్లో ఉన్నది, ఆరెంజ్ జోన్లో ఉన్నది మాది.
ఓకే.
దాన్ని చేంజ్ చేయాలి అది.
ఓకే. అండర్స్టూడ్. ఓకే. థ్యాంక్ యూ. యా.
గ్రీన్ ఆర్ కేటగిరీ చేంజ్ చేయాలి ఫార్మేషన్. మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు బయట కూడా సార్ కొన్ని ఏరియాస్లలో అవుట్స్కట్లో కూడా ఫార్మా అనగానే భయపడుతుంది పబ్లిక్. అలాంటిది తయారీ అట్లా అయిపోయింది ఇప్పుడు. హర్జాడస్ అని అనుకుంటున్నాను. వాళ్ళే వెళ్ళి పొల్యూషన్ కంట్రోల్ కంప్లైంట్ చేసి మమ్మల్ని అరెస్ట్ చేస్తుంది.
ఓకే. ఓకే. అండర్స్టూడ్. ఓకే. పాయింట్ టేకెన్. ఇప్పుడు మీకు అగైన్ వాడిని అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ అంటే మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ వాళ్ళు చెప్పింది కామన్ ఎఫ్లూయెంట్ అండ్ ఈ డిఎం ప్లాంట్స్ కామన్ ఉంటే మీకు బెనిఫిట్ వస్తుంది.
కామన్ సార్, అందరికీ కామన్ అది. డిఎం ప్లాంట్స్, ఆర్ఓ ప్లాంట్స్.
ఓకే. ఓకే. ఫైన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. థ్యాంక్ యూ. आप भी कुछ है in terms of greening, in terms of energy? आपका एरिया कौन सा है, माने क्या?
एक्चुअली मेरा प्रोडक्ट हर्बल प्रोडक्ट है, मैं हर्बल प्रोडक्ट से मैन्युफैक्चर करता हूँ।
ओके,
जैसा रॉ मटेरियल्स लाना है हमारे को, प्रॉब्लम्स होता है कि रॉ मटेरियल्स जाके लेके आना, और प्रोक्योरमेंट में भी बहुत तकलीफ होती है। और यूजुअली व्हेन वी ट्राई टू मैन्युफैक्चर द प्रोडक्ट, ओके, सो the main problem is in manufacturing in machineries one.
Okay.
Okay, sometimes machines will not work efficiently. So
Okay.
need for that we need a government help. Like most in MSME give a benefit to MSMEs who take the schemes, but due to that we are not able to. I don't know whom to contact and all. So with that lacking, my production has been sometimes got stopped.
Okay. In the sense, whatever equipment you're talking about, is it similar to what Srinivas Garu was talking?
Exactly, same thing. And same some kind of the herbs that we can't use in that in particular area.
Okay.
So for that we have some kind of same thing applies for me.
Okay. Okay. So when you say herbal product, उसमें तो केमिकल ये सब नहीं रहेगा ना, तो
केमिकल नहीं रहता, लेकिन हमारे को क्या है, ध्यान रखना पड़ता है कि वो चीज़ जब उसको बॉईल करते हैं, बॉईल करने के बाद में चीज़ चेंज हो जाती है।
अच्छा।
तो वो चीज़ को क्या है, थोड़ा मेंटेन करना पड़ता है।
अच्छा, पर आपका भी सेम पीसीबी ये सब एप्लीकेबल है क्या? हर्बल प्रोडक्ट में भी ये सब आपको करना पड़ता है?
जी हाँ, वही मेंटेन करना पड़ता है। अब जो मेरी यूनिट है वो इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया में नहीं है।
ओके।
जैसे अब आपका एक मेरे घर था, वो घर पे लेके बना रहा हूँ।
हाँ।
तो मेरे को क्या है कि जैसे लैंड चाहिए, लैंड में क्या है अपने कंपनी उसको शिफ्ट करो, शिफ्ट करने के बाद एफिशिएंसी, जैसे मेरे को काम करने की आसानी हो जाए, तो वो चीज़ में मेरे को लैकिंग हो रहा है।
अच्छा, ओके। तो जितना मैं समझ पा रहा हूँ कि हर्बल प्रोडक्ट हो गया या वेटनरी प्रोडक्ट हो गया या फिर एनी टाइप ऑफ फॉर्मुलेशन, आपका भी फॉर्मुलेशन ही इंडस्ट्री टाइप कैटेगरी में आ रहा है।
जी हाँ,
वो डिफरेंस नहीं है। एंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ माने आपके कॉस्ट में देखा जाए तो ग्रीनिंग या फिर एनर्जी रिडक्शन, एनर्जी कहाँ कंजम्पशन हो रहा है आपके इंडस्ट्रीज में? कहीं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, कहीं हीट, ये सब कंजम्पशन ज़्यादा है?
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, जी हाँ, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में साथ में प्रॉब्लम ये हो रहा है कि जब ज़्यादा हम यूज़ करने के बाद में पावर फ्लक्चुएशन शुरू हो जाता, उसके लिए क्या है, हमारा जो प्रोडक्शन जो रहता वो स्टॉप हो जाता। तो उसके लिए थोड़ी देर के लिए, एक दिन आधे दिन के लिए या नहीं तो सम आवर्स के लिए रोक देना पड़ता है।
ओके।
तो उसके साथ हमारे को अगर कोई हेल्प मिल जाएगी, जैसे सोलर पैनल्स है, जैसा अगर हमारे को अगर गवर्नमेंट से मिलेगा तो दैट विल बी यूजफुल फॉर अस।
ओके, जो भी अग्रवाल सर ने बताया था।
जी हाँ,
सब्सिडी टाइप। पावर कंजम्पशन कितना रहता है टिपिकली मंथली
मेरा?
डिमांड जनरल डिमांड क्या है?
ये बोल सकते हैं 10 approximately में।
ओके, 10 kV। ओके, 10 kV है।
या
ओके, ज़्यादा, इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है
जी।
10 kV। ओके।
अगेन सेम बात हो गई है। यहाँ पे क्या है, हमारे को प्रॉब्लम ये हो रहा है कि जगह का जो प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, जैसे हम ज़्यादा स्पेस नहीं यूज़ कर सकते, तो कहीं अगर हमें को अगर अच्छा स्पेस मिला
ఇండస్ట్రీస్ పెట్టినప్పుడు ఎకరాలకు పెద్ద కంపెనీలకు ఇస్తున్నారు, కానీ చిన్న కంపెనీలకు ఇవ్వట్లేదు. అది ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే.
చిన్నవి అంటే 1000 స్క్వేర్ యార్డ్స్ అలా చేసి చిన్న కంపెనీలకు ఇస్తే బాగుంటుంది.
ఓకే, అండర్స్టూడ్.
ఎక్కడ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేసినా కూడా ఎకరాలు పెట్టేస్తున్నారు.
ఓకే,
చిన్న ఇండస్ట్రీస్ని చూడట్లేదు.
ఓకే, అండర్స్టూడ్. So okay, so sir, for the kind of Sri Krishna Pharma or hetero, the challenges may be slightly different and may not exactly reflect right?
The energy saving, sir, required for the energy saving and replacement of the electricity. This is a main concern.
So why, for what is the problem for you in terms of replacement with renewable energy or biomass or say other things?
So recently we have to change from fuel to actually for previously we are used for the furnace oil. We conversion to the LPG system.
Okay.
Recently we have done last 15 days back.
Okay.
Let's say like environmental pollution. Surrounding industry they are complaining with the particles. From particles from the chimney. They need to avoid the replace the furnace oil to the LPG gas.
Okay.
We have done that actually.
Okay. So though even though it's a slight more cost, your
then our area is a PNG and the CNG is available. More cost is saving actually. LPG compared to the CNG is a higher.
Okay. Okay.
And our area IDA HRM is not available for the CNG gas, PNG and CNG whatever.
Okay.
You need to require actually. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. The IDA and HRM is available. All industries may be useful to benefit.
Okay.
That replace the energy saving and as well as the environmental pollution also. Convert to the green environment.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Main focus are required.
Okay. So there are, and I'm just going back.
Okay.
Recently, there was one company. It's not here.
Yes,
it's I think somewhere outside near Sultanpur or some, where they were getting biogas, but purified CBGs, compressed biogas kind of thing, for some of their activities. Right?
So the place concern requirement sir actually biomass.
Pardon?
Place concern ఉంటుంది కదా సార్ biomass generate చేయాలంటే.
No. I'm saying they are supplying to a few pharma companies some biomass, biogas.
Yeah, that's a required for the boiler operation changes, sir.
Okay.
We need to require for the equipment operation changes.
Okay.
Previous our equipment is support to the diesel and CNG.
Okay. Okay. So that change you have already made from furnace oil, you changed your manufacturing process to now. Is it dual fuel or is it just completely
dual operation, sir? Diesel or we are used for the diesel and LPG or CNG.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And when you say diesel, that reminds me yet another company. I think 2 Degree Clicon. They're somewhere near Kandi, Sangareddy.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And they are manufacturing synthetic diesel from plastic by pyrolysis.
Okay, sir, by pyrolysis process.
And what they said is that the diesel costs about 70 to 75 rupees a liter compared to whatever is market price.
Diesel cost is 100 rupees, sir.
Outside in the market,
okay,
the synthetic diesel that they are making from end of life plastic, which cannot be used for anything else,
okay,
it's costing slightly lower, and they had signed a agreement with Tata Chemicals to supply it. They're taking somewhere and supplying to other state. Okay. So such solutions, are the MSME aware of such solutions like synthetic diesel, which is very equivalent and can be used in boilers?
Boilers and diesel generators applicable, sir.
DG
sets also.
Yeah, they have tried it in tractors and other things.
Yes, sir.
So they are getting it certified by PESO.
PESO.
Yeah.
So
okay, PESO and ARAI.
So supplier contacts, his numbers is there.
We will share.
Okay, sir.
Now I'm not marketing, but all I'm trying to say is that there's
coordinate with the industry, sir.
Other
we are asking
solutions available, which may be lower cost, which can help.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will certainly connect.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's
then electricity consumption also we need to require, sir, actually.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
Electricity వాడుతున్నాం, sir. We are using for the electricity. We need to save the energy consumptions in point of electricity.
Okay. So if I look at your operations, typically most of the energy consumption is through fuel like diesel or LPG, or do you also have a significant consumption of electricity?
No, significant consumption is there, sir. We are using for the complete air handling units. We have to most BDs.
Okay.
We are using for the drying methods.
Okay, so for HVAC you're using electricity.
Yes.
But for process heating it's all LPG.
LPG, sir.
Or diesel, one of
Yes.
these two. Okay. Fine. In these, again, if I were to rate energy consumption, right, which facility is the most energy consuming for you? Chiller, boiler, HVAC?
HVAC, sir.
HVAC. Not even boiler.
Boiler also consumption is there, sir. Boiler HVAC.
Second place. Okay.
Most we are maintaining for the HVAC systems are completely formulation.
Okay. Okay. I would have thought that boiler consumes a lot more, but it's a insight for me.
Okay.
Sure. Not electricity. I'm talking about energy, total energy.
New schedule is going to be implemented. The HVAC will consume more than 75% of the. It will take a share of more than 75% in electricity consumption. Because now earlier everything was not controlled. Now everywhere temperature controlled air is required. So the HVAC more than the machinery, the HVAC consumption will be more. Which I think even the less than 250 crores turnover companies, they have given time till December 2025. So after that, when many of the companies they switch over to the new system, the electricity consumption by HVAC will be much higher than the machinery, what we use it for the machinery. Out of the total consumption, HVAC will take away more than 75% of that.
That may be true for
Formulation companies. Right, right.
Okay. And in terms of environmental impact, so for a second, so far we have been focusing on water and energy consumption, but in terms of environment impact, other forms of pollution, other chemicals that are either let out because there's no way for you to handle them, right? All of them also are contributing. So are there any challenges that industries are facing in that area, say for instance in handling some specific chemicals, some or some anything of that nature where innovation or technology may be needed? I'll pass it across the table now.
I think you need to repeat the question.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, the question was mostly on, we've been talking about other things, but hazardous chemicals, anything that is causing significant environmental impact, okay. And there are we facing any challenges in handling some of them? Are the solutions currently adequate, or if there's any inadequacy in the solutions, then I just was posing that question.
See, basically the drug industry is handling our input raw materials are all hazardous chemicals. So we deal with hazardous chemicals in a safest possible way. And we convert into a life-saving drugs. And then in this process, this effluent gets generated. What is effluent? Effluent is some, unconverted chemicals, maybe some partly byproducts, partly some other products. So I think the existing treatment methods are fairly satisfactory to treat this effluent, and that's why so many ZLD plants, every unit is able to run and get a water of equivalent to RO quality back from the treatment systems and reuse in their own systems. Now, you have a stipulation that all this water which is regenerated from the treatment plant is to be reused within the four walls of the factory. So, I think the existing arrangement is okay. As far as drug industry is concerned, we are not having any challenges at this moment. There could be one or two, or maybe the specific chemicals which may be challenging to certain unit, which not used across the industries, but then those have to be isolated. Those kind of effluent have to be isolated, and specific, treatment methods have to be designed for those things. Maybe they need to be decomposed, or they need to be destroyed, or whatever. There are treatment methods available for that also. You don't have to make a cocktail using that, difficult chemical and making a whole mass. Maybe you have to isolate and treat it separately. So that can be done.
Any say in your formulations or drug manufacturing, there may be cases where some expired chemicals are there, or those things also are there. How do you handle them? Or maybe once the product is manufactured, that may get expired. Is there any external producer responsibility wherein you have to recover them, or how are they being handled? Are they being sent back to the manufacturer once, if say for instance there's some X chemical that you have to use, right?
Oh, no. You are talking of raw material, is it?
Yeah, I'm talking about raw material. No. I'm talking about raw material, number one. Okay, that something that comes into your factory is expired.
So for most of the raw materials, we do our own stability studies within how much period it can be done. And once they are expired, you can always do a retest on those raw materials.
Okay.
And if they are not meeting the requirement, you have to either destroy or you have to give it back to the industry.
The destroy process, is there any challenge?
So destroy procedure depends on the chemical which is existing. It can be incinerated, or it can be sent to the cement plant, or it can be sent to. There are different methods available. You can use one of the methods which is safe for the. There is no one remedy for all the chemicals. It depends on the individual chemicals, and based on the safety data of that chemical, you have to handle it separately. No. There are no gaps as such.
Just I want to add one more point. Basically, the raw materials or which were being used in bulk drugs, they will not have any expiry. They will have retest period. But the formulation which has been derived from the raw materials or API, they will have an expiry period. See, two distinguishes are there. One is for API. For API industry, they will not be expiry period. They will be retest period. And whereas the same API has been used as a finished dosage form in a formulation, they will be recorded as an expiry period, shelf life period. But here retest period. That is the main distinguish. And one more thing just I would like to add regarding raw materials. Raw materials, the Telangana government has to be more precise with, see, two different industries are there, which was located in SEZ units, pharma. And in the outside of the SEZ, cost production cannot engage with the facilities which was being in SEZ units. Why? Because central government has been giving more and more incentives. But whereas the incentives has to be established for the non-SEZ units by the state government. That is the more point has to be considered. Why? Because number of raw materials which has been imported by for us from China. Whatever the import values, technical tax values will be reducted under the SEZ norms. But whereas the non-SEZ units has to pay the same tax payments, duties. That is the main thing. And one more thing is, as Sir told, implementation of the Schedule M with respect to the small micro units cannot be make it stand for the upcoming 6 months or 1 year. it has to be extended up to 5 years. Why? Because 250 crores company can implement 6 months. 500 crores company can implement within 3 months. But the factories which is going to establish and they never reach, even they cannot reach the break even. For that industries, it has to be extended up to the number of years where they can have the compete with the industries which has been already established. This is the main government of Telangana has to be look into this.
So as he was rightly saying, there will be more than 40% of the expenses for the new norms are going to come. Either state government should sponsor, or, I mean, kind of subsidies or financial assistance should be given, or most of these companies will be under closure. As some of the speaker was, saying about the next generations, and the companies whose next generations are not there, they are forced to close now. They will be forced to close by the end of December 2025. And it will be even the records and off the records, people say more than 30 to 40, nearly 30 to 40% of the companies will be at the verge of closure, who are unable to bear the expenses for the, to match the new requirements imposed by the Central Drug Department.
So one more just I would like to add. The equipments which are being bringing by the foreign companies, it has to be customs clear from airport office. The industry which has been located in SEZ, the customs will have a waiver for that. But the same thing, the customs will mark in a tax duties which are not located in SEZ. That means manufacturing equipments which has been imported from that SEZ duties as well as customs duties. Two duties are been exempted for SEZ units, but whereas non-SEZ units has to pay both. That is the main lacuna. The government policy has to be derived on this policy.
Yeah, thanks for those inputs. We'll take it forward. But then certainly SEZ, from what I understand, is mainly for export-oriented production, and therefore they are given some. Okay.
No. 80% the manufactured goods under SEZ units can make it into the export, but remaining 20% they can market into the domestic needs.
Okay.
On the name of domestic needs. Okay. So that in that criteria, the domestic units which has been located other than SEZ units cannot balance the counterbalance in expenditure, in outcome of the deliverables.
When SEZs were incepted, that time it was 100%.
Okay. It's an uneven competition.
Uh-huh.
It's an uneven competition.
Okay. So if your factory is among the 20% which serves the domestic market, but you are situated in SEZ.
Sir, see, 20%. Why? Because the incentives are more. Even custom duties can be exempted under the establishment of SEZ. The same thing, 20% they can market into the domestic needs. But whereas the pay, what was they are going to have, and the non-SEZ pay are different.
Okay.
Even for the exports also, the non-SEZ, the companies located in non-SEZ cannot compete with the companies located in SEZ.
Understood. Okay.
If the state government can match the benefits which are given for SEZs, that will be an encouraging factor.
Okay. Bio-based materials, that is processes, rather than using chemistry-based processes, bio-based processes for some of the productions and other things. Again, is this something that has been considered by larger companies? Is this in the radar?
Sir, that is biopharmaceuticals. Biopharmaceuticals are different when comparing with APIs. Normal APIs will work under different stature when comparing with biopharmaceuticals. Biopharmaceutical guidelines are different, and normal API guidelines are different, formulation guidelines are different. So these three consequences which cannot meet the similar attainment. So establishment guidelines are different, even the application form is different. Telangana DCA board, they can issue on a Form 25 license, but whereas the biochemicals, biologics will have 28D. That means that statutory is different and this statutory is different. Rules and regulations are different. So we cannot compare from apple to orange. That is different.
Okay. Yeah. The reason I was asking is biopharma more greener? If
Yes, sir.
so, why
Yes, sir.
can't it be adopted by,
Sir,
say?
biopharma is nothing but formulation, sir.
Huh.
But the formulator cannot have run the industry without support of API. But biopharma, they can manufacture both drug substance and drug formulation there itself with in a greenery manner. That is different. So that guidelines are different. But whereas the formulation unit, which has been established in the red zone, they have to take help of API. But in biopharma, both drug substance as well as drug formulations will manufacture in the similar premises with no pollution. That is green project.
Okay, okay. So that's a completely
That is completely
new
different.
industry altogether.
That is different, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And one last thing is, in terms of adoption of technology for monitoring your energy consumption and other things, right? How far have industries come, and are you facing some challenges? Recently, I understand that MSME ministry is giving some incentive to companies for digitization and setting up energy monitoring units and other things at no cost or, yeah.
Sir, just previously, just before stepping into the foot of Hetero, I am the part of Bharat Biotech.
Okay.
And Bharat Biotech implemented all energy from the natural. That means all panel boards has been implemented, and they made the energy consumption from the panel. That means solar energy.
Okay.
So they got incentives. So that is under the process. Some of the few industries has been changed into the solar energy, but some few industries are maintaining as a traditional energy.
Yeah, no, my question was using IoT, using sensors and energy management systems for monitoring your energy consumption. I understand from MSME DFO that there are some specific schemes under which smaller industries and MSMEs are being incentivized to take on energy management systems. So are the industries familiar with those schemes, and is there some movement in that direction, whether small or big?
I am not aware of that.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So there also seems to be a lot of awareness that lacuna that we can see. And of course, you guys are all busy in your day-to-day routines, so some of these might not have. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think it's if the any other.
We need coal or briquette. So cost of the coal is 9.5 rupees and the briquette is 7.8 rupees. It is almost equal to same rate, sir. So is the government can provide any subsidy on this briquette purchase?
Okay. So when you say briquette biomass, essentially, okay, so you're saying both are about same price?
Almost near to price.
Okay.
It's a 9.5, it's a 7.8 rupees.
Okay. And again, a naive question, why do you expect government should give a subsidy, just to understand?
Because you are supporting the use renewable fuel.
Okay. Okay. So from that perspective, you're saying that to use renewable fuel, if there's some incentive on
it will be
briquette
helpful for
versus-
MSME industry.
Okay, okay, okay. Understand. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not aware of any incentives of that nature, but that's an interesting suggestion that just like they're promoting, let us say, solarization, briquette versus coal.
So you are giving on solar, no, so like that.
Okay, okay, fine. That's something that we can take up as a discussion point with the policymakers and see how they react to that. Right? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But from any other comments from the industry will be much appreciated. I didn't want it to be just a conversation, general conversation, but take down something that I can go back and work on, right? You have given me a few points which I'll try to iterate here and see if I've taken my notes well, right? One key thing is in terms of for smaller formulation units, common effluent treatment plant, common DM water plants, such things will be of great help as they can reduce the burden on small industries, right, in setting up their individual things. ZLD seems to be a major challenge for formulation units that are just diluting some chemicals and then repackaging it. So that's another thing, that a requirement for ZLD may be relaxed for repackaging units was the other thing. Yeah. There were also requests around cooling towers and more efficient cooling towers to reduce losses of water, which is a cost for the company. That was the other thing. Some of the participants also raised a point that if there is some subsidies for machinery, particularly filling, sealing, labeling and other things, it may not be a greening part, but then certainly that was a request that was made. Schedule M, I don't understand anything, but that seems to be something that industries would like to defer for at least for the smaller industries, because compliance cost for Schedule M is significant on smaller industries. Maintenance. Okay.
In order to implement Schedule M, it is very tough to the industries which are been footing stage. At least they reach the break even up to at least 3 years or 4 years. See, now the Schedule M rules are above 500 crores company has to be implemented within 3 months. Below 250 crores company has to implement within 6 months, which is going to be end up by the upcoming month, I think December. So this type of timelines cannot make the sustainability of the industry, which has been footed for this earlier bird. No, that kind of Schedule M cannot be implemented for the persons or individuals who has been made in a thin level of start. So
MSME is the norms set by the Central Drug Department for manufacturing. Schedule M are the norms, sir. The norms set by the Central Drug Department.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for educating me. Which is not in your scope, Schedule M. And I have been.
The norms set up by the central government.
But okay, anyhow, thanks. To have WHO GMP, we have to maintain a Schedule M. Oh, something is out of box. Not totally.
That is not in their purview, but only they can support financially to upgrade these companies, smaller companies.
So, what you are looking basically is to reduce energy consumption and water consumption in the MSME sectors.
Yeah.
Now, to reduce these both across the units, I think you have to promote two things: the solar installation, renewable energy outside the unit with reasonable wheeling charges. If you put wheeling charges in such a way that my cost at my site remains the same, then it's not promoting renewable energy. I think you should promote renewable energy by giving some benefit to the industry, because they are investing. They are investing and saving natural resources and using renewable energy. So give them that benefit. By you say that I am using your transmission lines, your 5 rupees you put wheeling charges, you make my cost almost same or nearby same. It's not going to work out. So that is about power. Of course, power you can do, use survey, and you can put VFD and all this kind of thing, a gamut of things inside the unit to reduce the power, optimize the power consumption. That is another aspect. water, I told you, water main thing is effluent treatment. Now make this process more efficient. Individual treatment plants are not going to be efficient because there is a scale of economy and a scale of operation. So promote, common effluent treatment plant within a cluster, maybe 4, 5, maybe whatever, maybe not big, maybe small clusters. And come a policy that no individual unit should be allowed to do uneconomical operations. These are uneconomical operations. So, this is not something the policy makers will understand. If you put it forward, they will understand things very clearly. So, work on few selected things. I think you have the mandate, you have the, standing to put it forward to the government to tackle these things.
Absolutely, sir.
And as he said, I think it looks very ridiculous, but he said very valid thing. This biomass briquettes is a very renewable fuel. Now, if you want to promote that fuel, how you can intervene. Maybe not in terms of cost, or maybe look at how you can intervene. If you are providing coal and biomass at the same cost, and coal is giving slightly more conversion into steam, then how will you promote biomass? So talk to the biomass producers, talk their difficulty, or how you can reduce their cost of manufacturing. I'm not asking a subsidy directly, but can you facilitate them to reduce their cost of manufacturing? So these are the interventions which you have a mandate to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. That's all, sir.
Yeah, no, I think I've noted it down, and sir has also helped me summarize whatever I was trying to do. Right? Some of them were certainly out of scope, like the SEZ versus non-SEZ discussion. We can put it, no, in terms of greening. In terms of greening, it may not have any role. We can put it as a side discussion point for the policymakers. And also the Schedule M, again, it could be a side discussion point. The team is suggesting that if there's any one key point that you would like to mention, put it on the post-it note, and we will circulate it. Yeah. Okay. If there's any key point that anyone wants to put in, anonymously, okay, you may put in on the post-it note, and we can include it later on in the discussions. Yeah. Please use the pencils. Any key suggestion, kindly put it on the post-it note.
Yes.